Keeping aquarium fish is one of the oldest and most popular hobbies in the world. It is estimated that over the next 15 years, ornamental fish business is one of the sectors that will grow at a steady pace. Today we visit a farmer who has farmed these living jewels for more than 5 years.
My name is Haron, the proprietor of Fields Heaven, located along Wayaki Way at 87. Basically, I deal with the ornamental fish, from making aquariums to servicing aquariums to supplying the feeds.
Though Haron had an interest in rearing fish from a tender age, he actualized his dream of turning his hobby into a business in 2017.
I started many years ago. My first fish I kept in 1995. So that's zile za rive. We used to go and catch fish, yeah. So that's when now it started as a passion. But now my dad wouldn't let me keep them, so I had to put it aside. Then when I was in campus, I started the hobby again, not just for myself. Then people started inquiring about fish, so I decided, now let me turn this passion that I have to a business.
Ornamental fish farming can be a lucrative investment. Nevertheless, there are key factors that a farmer needs to consider before starting the business. In this way, you are more likely to avoid some of the common mistakes beginner fish farmers make.
For me, it started as a passion. I started with only one tank. Actually, I just put it on display and people started to inquire. So the first tank, actually I went to a fundi to make it for me. Then I got curious on how the whole process starts. Then I also started watching a lot of YouTube videos. Then I made my first tank. Then after that, a client came and inquired. Then I made a tank for him, just a small tank. Then from that, I started not growing. But I can say initial capital about say 60,000.
When you started out, how many fish did you have?
We had about 30. I went at Sarit. We have a pet shop there, and I tried to get I got the first one there. Then also inquired, and I was told, I was given a number of contact for a farm in in Sagana. I visited the farm and I bought my first fry from them.
What are some of the factors that you considered before you started a fish farm?
Market. Because as much as you may have the product, if you don't have a market for it, then you're not in any business. So market for me was the first, and also now trying to create awareness, because now this is a new industry. There are very few people who are in it, and also the clientele. As when I was starting, I had very few clients, but perseverance and through referrals, I was able to grow up to now where I am.
What type of ornamental fish do you currently have?
Right now I have quite a variety, from the pink and green Daniels. I have normal goldfish, I have cichlids, I have angelfish, I have koi, I have orandas, guppies, platies, yeah. And I even had some, we call them Siamese shark, yeah. So I keep on changing depending on what the market is looking for.
What do you feed your fish?
Now, primarily I feed them pellets. This one mostly one for the bigger fish. Then we have also flakes, now for the smaller fish. And from time to time, I'll take a gorget just buy from the local kibanda, slice them into small circular circles. So you just put them in the tank. So what the fish know, they'll eat the inner side, and only the greener part will be left. So after 24 hours, once I feed, I just remove it. So just in the course of the day, they'll be snacking on the gorget. But for the feeds, I normally feed them. You can either feed them once or twice. So if it is twice, it could be early in the morning and also late in the evening.
How much food do they consume?
Now, primarily, like for this particular container, for about 6 fish, this is enough feed for 1 month.
While setting up your farm, you will need to find a suitable location for your venture.
I'd say rent-wise, because it's quite affordable here. I would also say the atmosphere here, in terms of land, it's quite accessible. So that means also now, like where I normally farm them, though still in the house, it's quite able to get enough space to do everything. And also the weather is still conducive for the fish. I use borehole water, which is now ideal for the fish compared to the city council water. So water was also a major factor.
Water quality is the most important factor that affects the health and performance of your fish. Good water quality refers to what the fish wants and not what we think the fish wants.
By use of a good filtration system, once you put clean water, you may be required to do a water change maybe after a month or so. And now the water that I remove now from the tank is quite rich in nutrients. So that means now that water can be used to propagate other vegetation such as in a kitchen garden.
How do you maximize space used for maximum output?
Now, before I bring the fish here, back at Shags, we started a small fish pond, whereby now that's where my brooders are, and also at my residence where I stay, I have a couple of tanks whereby now I'm able now to breed them. So once they reach a certain size, now I'm able now to bring them to the shop. And also now once I bring them to the shop, I have various tanks with various sizes. So now depending on the species, I'll put them in a certain tank. And again now you'll find that there are certain species which are compatible with others. Now those I can go now to put different fish in one aquarium, but also now we have fish that they're not compatible with other fish, in that they are more aggressive. So for those I tend to put them in a different aquarium.
Many of the disorders and diseases that are known to occur in fish are the result of stress, poor water quality, overcrowding, and failure to quarantine any new or sick fish to avoid spread of disease.
I use salt as a first aid measure. Then also now there is this we call it bloated stomach, whereby due to when the fish ingest a lot of direct oxygen from the atmosphere, it tends to bloat. So for that we use a combination of garlic and salt. Just use a clove of garlic, crush it, mix it with the food, then feed it. At times we are forced to deflate it, whereby I'll be forced to insert a syringe in the swim bladder, so that we're able to remove the gas from the fish. Yeah.
Appropriate care and good hygiene go a long way in ensuring your fish are healthy and happy. It also helps prevent infections caused by bacteria, protozoa, viruses, fungi, or parasites.
For cleaning, you should not use any detergent or any soap. But just use a Scotch-Brite. You're going now to clean the inner side of the glass, because now we have algae inside. If the tank has gravel, we clean the gravel. Just basically using water. Yeah. So once you clean the glass, clean the gravel, you clean the filtration system, but don't do that when the fish are still inside. So the first thing, you have to take the fish, put them in a container, and if they're going to stay in that container for more than 1 hour, you normally have what you call a portable pump. So while they're in the water, in the basin, the filtration will still continue. So once you're done with the cleaning, now you can put clean water, put the gravel back. But again, you find that when you use the city council water, at times you find that the level of chlorine are quite high. So we have a product called anti-chlorine, whereby you just put a few droplets in the water, so that now it's able now to culture that bacteria, which could be harmful to the chlorine, which could be harmful to the fish.
A custom aquarium is a great way to brighten up any space. To have an eye-pleasing fish tank, you want to avoid cluttering it with cheap aquarium decorations. Instead, add a few rocks, pieces of driftwood, or pieces of live coral to enhance its appearance.
Building a tank, I do it by myself, and at times, depending on the size of the tank, I'll require some of my partners to help me in building. So the initial stage is, first of all, getting the right measurement. Because once you miss the measurement, even by an inch or even by a millimeter, that means that chances of that tank leaking are quite high. So first of all, you have to get the measurements right. Then also get a person who will able to cut precisely. So at times I may not be able to go to the factory when I'm building smaller tanks. So I'll just go to the local glass mat, get the glass, get the fundi there to cut the glass for me. Once they are cut to my precise sizes, and then I can start the building bit of it. So for a tank like this, just joining the 5 sides of the glass, it will take me about 5 minutes. Then with that, I normally give it maximum of about 24 hours for the silicone to cure. Then upon that, now I start the testing bit of it, whereby I'll put a quarter, fill it a quarter way, give it time to see if it is leaking, then go halfway, then 3/4, then up to the maximum. Once I ensure that there are no leaks, then I also give it about 24 hours for it to dry. Then now I can start the finishing bit of it, put the background, put the lightings, then it will be done. Now for the tanks, they vary. First of all, depending on the size, and also depending also on customization of the client. But I would say the smallest tank I would charge around 6,500. Quite smaller than this, whereby I'll include the pump, the fish, the gravel. So that particular for 6,500 comes with about 4 fish, the pump, 1 food supply, and also the decor of the aquarium. So from that, now we move to this size. This size goes for about 9,000. Comes with 6 fish. So the bigger the tank, the more fish I'll give. And I would say maybe the most expensive tank I've built, it was 200. I charged, the cost was 200, and it was about 6 feet by 3 by 2, with a capacity of about 600 liters of water.
How do you market your fish?
Basically, I use the social media platform. So if, for example, today I had new fish, once they arrive, I take photos, then I normally put them in my WhatsApp page. WhatsApp status. Then also have a page for the fish. It's called Haron. So I have an IG, TikTok, and Facebook. And also now through word of mouth. So if now, for example, have the already clients that I have, so once I get the fish, I'll also send now photos and prices to them.
What are some of the challenges that you face?
Access to the accessories, mostly for the pumps, because now most of the pumps are imports, and at times you may not have the manpower to import, whereby you find that you have to import a bigger consignment, which is quite expensive. So mostly we rely on people who import in bulk, then at times you buy from them. And at times you find that you're looking for a particular pump, then it is not available in the market, so that becomes a challenge. And also using some of the intermediaries such as Jumia, it may take quite a while before the pumps arrive. Another challenge would be disease, whereby you find that a client might call you, his or her fish they are sick, and at times you may not be able to, you're not aware of what the ailment is, because now you have to take the fish outside the water, try to make a diagnosis of it. Yes. Another challenge would be markets, because at times you'll find that a client might be in need of a particular fish which are not locally available, and getting access to some of those is quite a challenge. And when you get them, not trying to sell the fish at the market price, it's quite a challenge, because you find that a client cannot spend about 10,000 for a single fish, yet they will say that I want this particular fish. The most frequent question I get from clients is, what happens when there is a power blackout? Now, living in sub-Saharan Africa, having blackouts is the norm of the day. So what I normally advise them is, for example, if you have a blackout that is going to last for more than 6 hours, do half water change and put new water. And when you're putting new water, make sure if you're going to use a hose pipe, try to press at the nozzle so that now you get pressure. By doing that, you're actually generating the water manually. But if you're going to remove by use of a container, make sure that you remove water halfway, then put fresh water. That will ensure that you have constant supply of oxygen for your fish. Now in this business you can't work alone. I've partnered with Martin and he's quite knowledgeable about fish. So at times when I have clients and I'm not able to reach them, I always pass it to him. And also there are certain projects that we do together. For example, if you go to build up one of the big tanks that I cannot be able to do it by myself, he's always here to assist.
A fish tank in your home is a token of luck and wealth. It is no secret that owning a fish has measurable benefits for your health. This includes lowered blood pressure, improved sleep quality, and reduced levels of stress.
Some parents want to have a pet for their kids, and they can't like have a dog in this the way that the houses are built these days. They're like small houses, you can't keep a dog or a big animal. So in fish, it helps. You can just keep a small aquarium in your house, and you can teach your kids responsibility on taking care of the fish and knowing how to feed them, things like that, which makes them have a responsibility when they're still small.
That marks the end of today's episode. Comment below on what you've learned and suggestions for our next one. Remember to like, share, and most importantly, subscribe so that you don't miss any of our content. Until next time, have a good one.